Let me take you on a trip overseas. Overseas. Shawty, I got what you need. What you need. What you need. Let me take you on a trip across the water. Let me take you across the water. I'll do anything to get you started.
Welcome to Lit Lovely Lisa TV, and I'm your host, Lovely Lisa, and on the lit sofa, I have Miss Deborah Marion.
Yes, ma'am.
How you doing, Miss Marion?
Yes, fine. Yes, fine.
Thank you so much for coming and being a guest on Lit Lovely Lisa TV.
All right, I appreciate you having me.
Yes, ma'am. I know Miss Deborah is the mother of Lorenzen Wright, NBA star, who was murdered July 19th, and we wanted to bring her on the show so she can tell her story about, you know, how life has been for her through this whole ordeal.
It's been treacherous, but it's getting better.
Yes, ma'am.
After it's 9 years now, so it's getting totally better since we got somebody. For the, you know, what was bothering me is people done murdered my child and they're free. He shouldn't be free. That was my only thing. I want them locked up.
Yes, ma'am.
You know, he ain't gonna never be free.
Never be free. His life is taken forever.
Growing up in Memphis, Tennessee, Lorenzen Wright was the embodiment of a hometown hero. A local high school basketball star, he chose to play college ball for the hometown Tigers at the University of Memphis, where he propelled himself into the NBA.
The Los Angeles Clippers select Lorenzen Wright from the University of Memphis.
No one says that this guy doesn't give it to you night in and night out.
Yes! Lorenzen with 18.
Lorenzen takes it all the way, counted on a foul.
The hometown kid made it big. In turn, he became a local celebrity.
Hello, I'm Lorenzen Wright of the Memphis Grizzlies, and I'm going to show you how I'm living here in Memphis, Tennessee.
He also became a pillar for the community, volunteering his time and wealth to the city that helped raise him. Memphis loved him. He returned the embrace.
First thing they would say how good of a person he was. It was more about that than it was about him being a ball player. He was always giving back, and he was very good with children.
In 2009, after playing 14 seasons and earning more than $55 million in contracts, Wright's NBA career was over. But he was anxious to continue playing overseas, mostly in order to support his 6 kids.
Wonderful father, and as a son, you couldn't ask for more. You know, you just don't find people like him every day.
My name is Mike Ryle, Deputy Chief over Investigative Services with the City of Memphis, Tennessee Police Department. Been involved with the Lorenzen Wright investigation since 2010 when I was a major over violent crimes during that time. He was kind of an icon here, very well known in the community. People still talk fondly of him, still remember him. It's unfortunate that he was tragically killed in the town that he loved and grew up in. We have never given up on trying to solve this mystery that who murdered this young man.
A year after retiring, Wright, by then living in Atlanta, returned to Memphis to attend a baby shower for his sister. He spent the day catching up with friends and was last seen that night at his ex-wife's house, where he left before midnight.
So I want you to tell our viewers what your experience been like going through this whole ordeal, you know, before the killers were even caught.
Well, for the first 6.5 years, I was getting the same thing. That's why I was going to the police station every day. Then when I showed up on one Sunday, one of the police was like, you didn't go to church? I told them church. I was after about 3. I said, church is not all day. Yes, I'm going to be here.
Yes, ma'am.
And that wasn't really giving me no good clarifying answers. But then, like, skip a year, 7-year mark, I got in touch with some more guys, some more police that was really investigating, and everything they was telling me was coming true, so I could do nothing but follow them, and honey, they were great. And it wasn't but like 8 of them. Like when they showed all those guys, police pieces on TV, that wasn't them. That was not them, because they couldn't be seen because they're not finished with the case. They still looking for me.
How did you feel when they called you and said, well, okay, we found it, finna go get them?
Yes, I was ecstatic. You couldn't do but cry and jump, because I was so, that day have come. I didn't know what thank you for my grandkids. They gonna get some peace too. Now they know what happened to their dad. They ain't gotta keep wondering what happened. Now they know.
Right.
Yes.
And the good thing about it, they would know from the story coming out and the evidence, you ain't gotta just, go by telling them this and that. They're gonna find out for themselves what the truth actually is.
Exactly. That's what I want them to know, the truth, so they won't be holding no vengeance against anybody.
Right.
I just want them to know everything.
Right. I totally understand that. I know how important your grandkids are to you. And I know you've been wanting them back in your life and, to talk to them and love on them. So how has that been, just to know, you have gotten in contact with a couple of them?
Oh, yes, honey. When my daughter first called about Lawson, that's the baby boy girl, she was crying and I could do but cry when I heard her. She said, Mom, you and I ain't talked to Lawson since all this stuff happened. So, that was a great, especially coming from the baby boy. I always talk to the baby girl. And the oldest son, he and my son are very close. They always stay friends on Facebook. But for her to be crying because she finally done talked to Lawson in 9 years, so they all coming one by one. So we're just going to wait till they all get ready. We don't want to force nothing on them, but I'm going to try to get them back here.
Right.
Yes.
And I know this has been just a horrible ordeal for everybody.
Yes.
You and your family, the kids, it's everybody just got off, on a rough deal right there.
Yes, indeed. It sure did. But, God is good.
He is.
If one forgot, I don't know where I would be, because my prayers were answered by him. The last 8 police that got on this case didn't stop. So, listen, someone will stay at the station all night, 24, because it gets so good while they investigate, they can't stop. They just stay. Don't leave them. They wives. Do what you gotta do. The wives knew they were investigating for Lorenzen, so they was like, do what you gotta do. They would stay there 24 hours, wouldn't go home, wouldn't change clothes or nothing.
Right.
And they got it.
What is it like going in that courtroom, and just being able to see these people that have taken your son's life? I know it's so many emotions within you.
Yes, indeed. I be wanting to do something. Like I told one police, I said, if they don't get years that I want them to get them, I'm going to stab them in the neck with an insulin needle. He's like, no, don't kill him, Miss D. Don't kill him. I'm the police. Don't even tell me. I said, well, the way I feel, because ain't nothing, these few years they gave her, now Billy coming up, I don't understand. I don't know why he already did what he's supposed to do.
Right. I totally understand where you're coming from. Let me ask you this. Between the times before they have gotten them for murder, what have kept you through? What have kept you strong?
His voice, girl. Like I tell people, when I go to that cemetery, when I get ready to leave, his voice. He talks to me. That's why I wanted to walk his last steps when they found his body, because I knew he would have left me something there, because we were like this.
Yes.
I just wanted to walk his last. I told him, just let me walk his last walk and I'll come back, because I knew he would have left me something that day.
Yes.
That's just how we work, because we was at the cemetery last week, and this is no joke. I was telling TV people, look, I'm getting so hot out here. A few minutes later, cold breeze came. I told him, feel my neck. Lorenzen cooled me out. We was at the place where we found his body. I was like, feel my neck. It's just the way he works. Yep. Just him.
Y'all very much in tune with each other. I love it.
Yes.
I love it. Well, I feel you are a very, very strong woman to be able to go through this for so long.
I had
and to be able to finally get these people that did this to your son to justice.
Yes, ma'am. That's why I didn't want the death penalty for nobody, because death is too easy. Anybody can just die.
Yes, ma'am.
I want you to suffer like I'm suffering.
Right.
I don't want nobody dead. Nobody.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, John, this was certainly a surprise appearance today by Cherishing Wright. This was not on the docket today. We got wind about this about 10 o'clock this morning, came over here to 201 Poplar, and about 11 o'clock the proceedings began. Cherishing Wright has a guilty plea. She pleaded guilty to facilitation of first-degree murder and attempted facilitation of first-degree murder. She was sentenced as part of that guilty plea to 30 years in prison. She will be eligible for parole in about 8 to 9 years, and she will be given credit for the roughly 2 years she has already served since being arrested in December 2017. The legal team of Cheryl Wright is speaking behind me. You can probably see them. This ends a more than 9-year saga after the murder of Lorenzen Wright in July 2010 in southeast Memphis. Just a few days ago, last week, was the 9-year anniversary. This was a cold case for nearly 7.5 years until the arrest of Billy Turner in December 2017. Then Cheryl Wright, a few weeks later, mid-2017, arrested in Riverside, California. In the courtroom a short while ago, Paul Hagerman read some of the key points of the affidavit alleging the crime that Cheryl Wright committed. She pleaded guilty. After the guilty plea, prosecutor Paul Hagerman said this was a guilty plea. It was not an Alfred plea where you're presuming you're maintaining your innocence, but you're still pleading guilty. This was a guilty plea. The attorneys behind me for Cheryl Wright just told me if you could call it a best case scenario guilty plea, they would, because she is potentially eligible for parole in 7 years. She could get out of prison in her 50s. Now, the other co-defendant, Billy Turner, this is significant. He was supposed to be sentenced tomorrow on gun charges tied to his arrest. It wasn't directly tied to the Lorenzen Wright murder, but it was gun charges tied to being a convicted felon. That has been postponed, but as it stands right now, Billy Turner is still scheduled to stand trial in mid-September. Cheryl Wright was also expected to stand trial starting September 16th. That obviously changes now that Cheryl Wright pleaded guilty this morning. Again, the sentence will be 30 years, but as part of that guilty plea, she will be eligible for parole in about 7 years due to her credit served. Now, going back to the Lorenzen Wright. Very emotional in the courtroom a short while ago. The mother of Lorenzen Wright, Deborah Marion, spoke directly to Cheryl Wright. They both looked at each other in the eye. It was quite a moment. Deborah Marion told Cheryl, "Please, I love my grandchildren. You gave me wonderful grandchildren with Lorenzen, but I really would like to see my grandchildren. Please let me see them. They need to see their family." Pastors just spoke a few minutes ago of Deborah Marion. Heavy emotion in this courtroom. This was a nearly decade-long saga from the murder of Lorenzen Wright in July 2010. Nearly a decade later, a key part of this saga is over. John?
How do you feel about Cheryl's attorney wanting to change her venue?
Oh, honey, that trifling googly on he ain't worth a hill of bricks. No, I told them they can go anywhere. All they're going to need is a translator, because wherever you hear this evidence, and then if they had brought the tapes out,
yes,
they would have heard voices playing. Simple as that. Wow. He know what's on the tapes.
Yes. Well, I wanted to ask you, I did want to ask you a question, but it was in the back of my mind. I'm going to come back to it, you know. Okay. But for those that don't know who Lorenzen Wright was, tell us how your son was.
He was a giving person. You know, he gave 3 schools 2 pair of tennis shoes. Every year he was in the NBA. Every year. BTW, Shelby State, and LaFayette High School. Mm-hmm. He gave them 2 pair of shoes, the athletes 2 pair of shoes every year for 13 years. With nothing, you know, just because. And just how he was, and when he would go home and people have barbecues and the old ladies be there and it'd be hot, he would leave and go to Walmart and get them a tent, the little thing go over. Yeah. And he said, "This is for the elderly people." I'm like, "They're not gonna fall out on my watch." Then when young people start getting it, he'd be like, "Y'all get back over in the sun. This is for the old people. I'm not gonna let them fall out on my watch." He would just giving and giving, always. Like that, it's a little boy years ago, he was in the house all weekend with his mom dead. Girl, Lorenzen would have adopted that boy. He just took him like he was his and shop for him. Bought him. Christmas time come, he was like his child. Because he in his house with his mama the whole weekend dead.
Right. I remember that story.
Yes.
I remember right here in Memphis.
Yes, honey.
I remember.
Took care of that boy. So he was just like, "I got too much. I got to give. You know, mm-hmm. So, like he had a couple of his friends to come up here and bring their kids so he could just take them shopping.
Yeah.
That's all he wanted. Monty Wilder and Wayne Tapper come right on. Came and took them in their kids shopping.
Well, our family's always been close knit.
Oh, yes.
And I love y'all, and y'all love me my whole life. Well, and for me, Ganya, he was Lorenzen, I called him Gunyon.
If you know him, that's what you call him, Gunyon.
But, you know, he was always fun, loving, you know, cracking jokes, always, you know, having fun. I just love him. I miss his spirit.
Yes.
I miss his spirit. So I definitely sympathize with you and your family. You know, it's just been rough on everybody. Everybody that loved Lorenzen, you know, we miss him.
Sure.
You know, it's just been a lot, you know, going through this. And I think, you know, it was just time.
Yep.
God brought that time for justice.
Did.
And I'm just glad it's finally here.
Yes, and they talking about we got to wait because they done found some more evidence. They said, Deborah, are you mad that they got to wait? No, because the longer they wait, the better evidence they'll get.
Right? And you want all the truth to come out.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Now, I want to ask you this in the tabloids. You know, I know Cheryl was saying her jaw was broke because she was abused. That don't sound like Gunyon to me.
Girl, she got Bell's palsy. That's what she had. Bell's palsy. Bell's palsy been done twist that mouth. You know, like I tell the TV reporter, y'all go back on y'all news and check that mouth out. Check that mouth out when she was saying what them earrings were.
Right.
I didn't even know he had said that until after I had left the courthouse. Right, one of the reporters called me and said, Deborah, let me tell you what the lawyer just said. I was like, is he said? They said, no, he get on the elevator. Girl, I was finna turn back around and go tell them, honey, you better go investigate Bell's palsy.
Right.
That's what you need to do.
Right.
Because every time they throw him on the bus, girl, when the first one's gonna run up there, snatch my baby wasn't up on that bus. I'm gonna say it right.
Because that was the first time within the tabloids, I ever heard of him or whatever. They talking about domestic violence or it was some abuse going on or whatever. But all of a sudden, since she's on trial, you know, my jaw is broken, he's did this and that. You know, I just wanted to get your feelings on what's been going out here so you can clear the air on who your son was.
I know he didn't fight her because she would jump on him and the first thing she would do is scratch his neck and stuff. I would taught him how to use her makeup when he got ready to go somewhere to cover up the scars on his neck because they'd be like, you know, all around his neck. And they give her x-ray. Ain't no break. It's not broke. It's just Bell's palsy just twisted.
Okay, so medical records are already confirmed.
Yes,
that's Bell's palsy.
Yeah, that's not a break.
Okay.
And you know, Kevin Calvin, you know, he went to Dallas with her, stayed with her 2 years. He said she never mentioned no abuse for 2 whole years. You mean to tell me you're gonna be with a man for 2 years and not
mentioning abuse? Yes.
And he said he loved them kids. None of them kids never mentioned no David whooping them like this or nothing.
Right. No. It's just mighty funny, all these, you know, horrendous stories is starting to come out, you know, as soon as, okay, you're on trial for murder.
Okay.
Yeah, so, you know, I wanted to get your feelings on that as well. So, you know, I know it's been hard for you and your family going through all of this. And I'm just, you know, I'm happy that y'all finally getting some closure. Finally getting some closure. Ma'am. So how do you feel now that, you know, you that much closer? I can
breathe straight. Check this out. For 7 years, I used to, like, I could walk and stop breathing because it'd be like, oh, my son dead, you know. Now I just breathe like regular folk now. For 7 years, I didn't breathe like regular folk. This is no joke. I got a lung doctor because I told that doctor something is wrong with my lung because I'm not breathing in and out. But he said, it's just the stress. It's just stress.
What I know for a fact that you gonna be all right and you stay prayed up and you about the strongest woman that I know. To be able to go through this, no mother should have to bury their child.
No, that wasn't it. They supposed to be. I told them, all my boys, look, y'all not going to be no honorary papa. I carried y'all for 9 months. Y'all can carry me for 20 minutes.
Right.
And now I got to get somebody to take his place, to carry me. Right. Get those 3 boys. That's what I'm going to do.
Yes, ma'am. Well, ma'am, I thank you so much, Miss Deborah Marion, for coming to the Lovely Lisa TV show and to give your story, you know, to our viewers. And we definitely will keep you and your family lifted in prayer.
Thank you, dog. That's why I got where I am. Prayers, y'all. Prayers helped us out.
Yes, ma'am. Well, I thank you so much for being here. I love you, honey.
I love you too. I'm glad you have for having me, honey.
Yes, ma'am.
Please welcome O'Shawn to the lit stage. this girl. I was healing mine, she was changing mine. I was playing my part and I know she's playing. All the fussing it started to the haters, the bird, everything started. And I didn't know what to do, so I walked down a high road with no. If I knew what I know, it would have been all cool. She said she don't, so I guess we're through. Are you sure you even love me? And I know I'm not your only. Don't you know you did me wrong? So you can stop writing these songs. It all started with a story about this girl. I was healing my heart and I was changing her world. I was playing my part and I know she's playing her. All the fussing it started to the haters to burn. Everything started changing, so I had what to do. I ran down a high road with no shoes. If I know what I knew, it would have been all cool. She said she don't trust me, so I guess we're baby. I'm crazy about you. And maybe you can save me. Together we'll make it through. It all started with a story about this girl. I was healing her heart and she was changing my world. I was playing my part and I know she playing. All the fussing it started to the haters to burn. Everything started changing, so I didn't know what to do. So I ran down a high road with no shoes. And if I know what I knew, it would have been all cool. She said she don't trust me, so I guess we're through. No, I guess we're through,
Hey y'all, my name is Lorenzen Wright, up and coming R&B artist out of Memphis, Tennessee. You can catch me on YouTube at Sauce Control Empire. You can catch me on Instagram at Lorenzen Wright. Shout out Lit Lovely Lisa TV for this opportunity.
Shouts out to the 666 Mafia. Rest in peace, Lord Infamous and Coostin. Who running? Yeah, they be running. Better get ready, cause I'm running. Who running? Yeah, they be running. Better get ready, cause I'm coming. Who running? Yeah, they be running. Better get ready, cause I'm coming. Who running? Yeah, they be running. Better get ready, cause I'm coming. Jumped in on the challenge, if that's what you call it. I ain't no motherfucker rapper, I'm a lyricaholic. I'm the queen of the M, cause I don't know about them. Just put a legend on the track and you ain't f***ing with them. Started out in the 90s, made a song called the 90s. Foundation, motivation, pioneer of the 90s. Pop tunes, Mr. Z, selling tapes and CDs. Got my fan based up, passport overseas. What you know about that Glock in my hand, huh? I'm from the North, Memphis, understand, huh? Step on haters, make them sing like the sand, huh? It's Scarface, what's the chick, I be the man, huh? Try to set me up, I went to 201 pop. Pole, pulled down, all I had was the Glock. I keep my super glue with me, cause I'm still in the block. I'm super flame, super rain, and I can't be stopped. I hate when they don't lie on me. Hoes looking that try on me. I hang with those looking them down me. Get back, can't crown me. Pull up on you real slick, ball you up like real quick. 201, get ready, cause I'm murdered on these G-mix. First independent queen, straight up from say, ha, stop, wear the tissue, cause I just spit in your face. Who running? Yeah, they be running. Better get ready, cause I'm coming. Who running? Yeah, they be running. Better get ready, cause I'm coming. Who running? Yeah, they be running. Better get ready, cause I'm coming. Who running? Yeah, they be running. Better get ready, cause I'm coming. Yeah, they be running. Better get ready, cause I'm coming. Who running? Yeah, they be running. Better get ready, cause I'm coming.
Now, wasn't that lit? Make sure you guys tune in next week, Thursday at 12 midnight. Lit Lovely Lisa TV. She lit.